All right, as part of this exchange, Vladimir Putin prioritized the release of this guy, Vadim Krasikov. Now, but exactly why remains unclear. Now, Krasikov was imprisoned in Germany for the 2019 murder of a Georgian citizen who had fought against Russian troops in Chechnya before claiming asylum in Germany. And while the Kremlin has denied any involvement with the murder, the German court determined that Krasikov acted on behalf of Russian authorities who gave him the resources to carry out the attack. Meanwhile, in the Biden-Harris administration's latest show of weakness, it was announced yesterday that 3 9/11 defendants struck a plea deal with the government. Now, this is a disgrace, an insult to the victims of 9/11 and their families who have been patiently waiting for true justice. This deal includes the alleged mastermind of 9/11, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. But after facing harsh criticism, well, the White House is now trying to claim they actually played no role at all whatsoever in the plea deal. And the Democrats' presidential candidate has said, we need the courage to stop saying the words radical Islamic terrorism and illegal alien. Is this just another one of their attempts to rewrite history? Anyway, here with reaction tonight, former Secretary of State and Fox News contributor, our friend Mike Pompeo, is back. I'm not going to hide my happiness, Mr. Secretary. I'm glad that Evan Gershkovich and Paul Whelan are home, and these other hostages are home. But I also saw Vladimir Putin embrace this convicted murderer and greeted them on the tarmac when they arrived in Moscow earlier today. And I'm very happy. Please don't misunderstand my question. What worries me is that if you make a deal to get hostages, you're creating an environment where there's going to be more hostage taking. Am I wrong on that?
No, Sean, you have both parts of that right. It will be joyous tonight at Joint Base Andrews. I remember I'd been the Secretary of State for just a couple weeks when we brought 3 Americans home from North Korea who'd been held in Pyongyang. There's no more joyous moment than reuniting those folks with their families, and I am thrilled for those folks who are coming home. But what you can see now is the Biden administration's done it wrong. When we brought those North Koreans home, we didn't pay a penny. We used true American power. What they've now done is they've exchanged innocence, a Wall Street Journal journalist, another innocent businessman in Moscow, and they've traded them for a terrorist who committed murder on German soil. That extortion racket will only increase. We've now created a market price. And Sean, you don't need to guess whether I'm right about this. The United States paid $6 billion to get 4 or 5 hostages home from Iran. Good for getting them home. But there are more Iranians held today, more Americans held today by the Iranians in Gaza. You just push this problem down the road. And so while tonight will be wonderful and a blessing to those families, the risk is that there will be more families of more innocent Americans who are traveling all over the world who one day are held hostage and they spend years in captivity as well. That's the risk. That's the danger.
Mr. Secretary, let me ask you about the other issue we discussed that the administration claims to have no part of. The New York Post headline today, atrocity of justice, 9/11 mastermind spared death penalty in shocking plea deal. And it says at the very bottom, I'll hold it up for our audience, he deserves hell, which I agree with. Now, I think this is a grave injustice to the families that have patiently been waiting for real justice for the death of their loved ones, not only the 2,977 killed on 9/11, but also the thousands of others that were killed from very real 9/11-related illnesses. They make a plea deal with him, but then they deny having any role in that. Do you believe that? Is that possible?
First of all, it's implausible. Second, I don't know which is worse, that you had no role in it, that is, you have an administration that's completely out of control, or you did have a role in it, and you made the terrible decision. And for those who are too young to remember 20-some years ago, I'm still angry about 9/11. When I think about the fact that they killed 3,000 innocents in New York in a single moment and inflicted terror on the United States of America, and the mastermind, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, a radical Islamic terrorist, whether Vice President Harris wants to describe it that way or not, a radical Islamic terrorist brought hell to New York City and the American economy. And they cut a plea deal with him, denying the families the very basic idea of justice being imposed on these horrible criminals who did so much destruction. I can't believe that they did that. I can't believe that they actually cut this deal. And whether President Biden claims he knew about it or not, he's the commander-in-chief, he's in charge, and he is responsible for this disgraceful action.
Let me ask you one other important question, because I could not believe after Iran attacked Israel, and Israel had to retaliate alone because Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, in my view, they surrendered in the war against radical Islamic terrorism. Kamala Harris, I played the tape over and over. She said we should have the courage not to use that word or the word illegal alien. But the fact that we abandoned our ally, now we have a situation where they took out the leader of Hamas that was inside of Iran. What shocked me the most, even without our help, when they did retaliate alone, because America, well, Joe and Kamala abandoned Israel, they got deep into Iranian territory. I didn't think they'd have that capability. That tells me they have the ability to take out their refineries and their nuclear sites with or without our help. I don't know. I'm just a harmless little talk show host observer. Am I reading that right?
Well, Sean, you've captured the difference quite clearly. The Israelis are killing terrorists, and we're coddling them, cutting plea deals with them, trading terrorists for innocent Americans, right? The juxtaposition between the Israelis try to deter threats against them and the way the Biden administration has made America weak on the global stage is very real. We also have seen that the Israelis are very capable. They have the ability to reach into Tehran in the same way, frankly, that the Trump administration did when we took out al-Qaeda's number 2 in Tehran. The Iranian leadership should be deeply aware of the Israeli capability. And what I wish they could also know is that the United States will support Israel's efforts, whatever that may be, to defend themselves and, frankly, to defend the United States and the Gulf Arab states from this threat from radical Islamic terrorism that is emanating from Tehran all across, whether it's in Syria or Gaza or from Lebanon and Hezbollah. This is a real challenge, and the United States cannot sit on the sidelines, or worse, claim that these are morally equivalent propositions between Hamas and the United States.
They said to Israel, you're on your own. They've been pressuring Israel after they lost the equivalent of 40,000 Israelis, what would have been 40,000 Americans in a day, to show restraint, I don't know if the Iranian missile would have hit that soccer field and killed those kids had they been fighting this war the way it needed to be fought, and that is to win it and win it quickly, as Donald Trump says. So I guess, once again, you know, if Kamala Harris says you can't use the term radical Islamic terrorism, why would you have any confidence they would ever support Israel in defending themselves and offensively winning a war?
Sean, you're right. It's unconscionable. And not only do I not have any confidence, but sadly, Hamas and Hezbollah and the Iranian leadership, they think America will bail on this as well and won't support our ally. And you can be sure, Sean, others are watching as well. The folks in Taiwan, the folks in China, all the bad guys, all our allies are watching how we behave as well. And the risk is enormously high in these next 4 or 5 months, Sean.
And under their watch, Iran got rich. They turned a blind eye to the sanctions. They gave waivers on sanctions. They were willing to pay $6 billion for hostages. It's unreal. To Iran, the mullahs, the #1 state sponsor of terror. Mr. Secretary, good to see you. Thank you. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.